There has been a lot of debate and discussion over Uniform Civil Code. Today we have along with us Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan to speak on this issue and much more. Welcome, Governor. There has been a lot of debate and opposition ever since the Prime Minister spoke about the Uniform Civil Code. What is your view on UCC?
My view is the view of the Constitution of India. In the chapter 4 that deals with the directive principles, and wherein it has been made absolutely clear that while making laws, these principles which are part of this chapter and known as directive principles of state policy, they shall not be enforceable by the courts. But the words are very important. But the principles therein laid down are nevertheless fundamental in the governance of the country, and it shall be the duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws. Anybody, not just the various holders of the constitutional positions, elected representatives, even the bureaucracy, or any elected representative right from parliament to panchayat member, or even those who aspire to be members, at the time before the election, when they file nomination paper, they take an oath that they shall uphold the Constitution. After taking this oath, in principle, one can differ on the details of the provisions. But as far as the principle of having a uniform civil code through one code throughout the territory of India is concerned, how anybody can oppose it? If you are opposing it, you are showing no confidence in the Constitution of India.
Now, what opposition parties are claiming is that BJP is trying to use this as a political card to create communal division in the country and thereby garner votes in the next Lok Sabha elections.
Well, I will give you just one example. Who is playing the political game? At least till 90, the left parties in this country were advocating enactment of uniform civil code. In 1986, when I resigned on the issue of Shah Bano, the most vocal voice in my support was of Mr. late EMS Nambudripad. And you can refer to his speeches. The other vocal voice was that of BJP leaders. Now, a party which stood for not only stood against the reversal of the judgment, Honorable Supreme Court judgment in the Shah Bano case, but ferociously advocated implementation of Article 44, which means Uniform Civil Code, suddenly has changed their position. And now they are criticizing the move in various terms. So who is taking a political position? If ideologically, if the position which they had taken at the time of Shah Bano, even till 1990, they were for Uniform Civil Code. And today they are singing a different song, then who is playing politics? I ask you. And I leave it to your readers to decide, your viewers to decide, that who is taking a political angle and who is doing it for extra constitutional purposes.
So, do you think that the left and the Congress is now not supporting this UCC or against it, mainly because they think that a certain community, especially the Muslims, will be upset with them and move away from them as a vote bank? Do you think the time is now to stop this vote bank politics?
Instead of discussing the individual parties, I have not. I have merely said left parties. I have not named any particular party. But I ask you, in law, in constitution, the words carry a great meaning. What the Article 37 says, it says that these provisions shall not be enforceable by any court, but the principles therein laid down are nevertheless fundamental in the governance of the country, and it shall be duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws. Then Article 44 of the same chapter says, the state shall endeavor to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India. Now, we might face difficulties. We might take some time to mobilize public opinion and explain to the people who are opposed to the enactment of the Uniform Civil Code. We may take time because it is implied therein that we will have to create conducive conditions. In order to create conducive conditions, maybe if somebody argues that more time is needed, more preparations need to be made, one can understand. But the Constitution does not allow you to go backward. In 1986, a government which had the backing of more than 400 Lok Sabha members, remember the provision under which Shah Bano had got relief was not part of the civil law. It was part of the criminal law, CRPC. Criminal law is one in this country. Criminal Procedure Code is one in this country. Public law is one. Only personal laws were allowed to continue till the time we create conducive conditions for the implementation of Uniform Civil Code. What happened in 1986? We moved exactly in the opposite direction, and by amending a provision of the CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code, we tried to create a different provision. The government tried to create a different provision for one particular community. So you are not only going against the oath to uphold the Constitution of India, you are trying to create separate provisions under the criminal law for separate communities. That legacy is there. Unless they decide to rectify the wrong which they had committed in 1986, I think today if somebody with that kind of legacy tries to oppose the Uniform Civil Code, then it is, if they can go to the extent of having different provisions in the criminal law, and they have never regretted for it, except few individual senior leaders. As a party, they have never expressed any regrets over it, never said sorry to the nation. So if they want to persist with ignore the provisions of the Constitution,